I'll start.
Hi, everybody. I am back again with an HR huddle with Trilogy Health Services. And today I have the privilege of talking with Stacy Piles and Shelby Fremont, who are both recruitment and retention specialists. Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk with us about Trilogy.
Absolutely.
Hi, Brandy. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the organization and the work that gets done.
So Trilogy Health Services, we are a long-term care company that is in the Midwest. So we are active in Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, and Ohio. We have over 114 campuses that encompass those 4 states, and we are growing, which is great. And most of our campuses have unique skill sets that we offer in each one. So it's very individualized according to which campus, but most of them have AL, memory care. We have a lot post-acute and independent living. So those are our 4 main service lines that we offer in the campuses that we serve in the communities.
What positions are you hiring for? Sorry, I have an itch all of a sudden.
So clinical wise, we are hiring CNAs, QMAs, LPNs, RNs. We also have resident care associate positions available as well for full-time and part-time, and we do welcome PRN positions as well.
Okay. Does Trilogy have any type of internship program or post RN program?
Yes, we do offer internships to a lot of students that are coming through. Some students that may not, be familiar with long-term care or haven't even considered an option for them. We love to have students that just come in and shadow, the campuses. At any time we can get that set up. But anyone that has graduated that doesn't necessarily have, their actual license yet, we do have, like Shelby said, the RCA position, which is someone that comes in, you're basically shadowing an RN or an LPN, the entire length of time until the actual license has been received, in which you would then be graduated into that title. So within the campuses, most of them, like I said, are always open to having internships. We just started, post-COVID, just kind of what that new norm looks like with our internships. So we absolutely are welcoming them back in. And that can be at a campus choice. If we have a student that's interested in a campus of location, Shelby and I would be the ones to organize that with the campus director of nursing and really making sure that we have everything in place for that individual to have a wonderful experience. So, yep.
Perfect. And then, so along those lines, what are some career growth opportunities for somebody who would join your organization?
So anyone that comes in and, if they're just joining the organization, we always want to make sure that we are, growing our own. That is what Trilogy takes so much pride in, is just making sure that we are providing those opportunities to our employees that allow them to, grow as much as possible through, Trilogy and never having to leave. So we call it a destination employer. We truly are wanting our employees to stay and grow and achieve whatever they can to their fullest potential. So we have opportunities that, if they come in, let's say as a, CNA or a QMA, and they have the, intention that they truly want to work up to a director of nursing level or move on to maybe a clinical support role, we have those growth plans in place. So a lot of opportunities that we have would be, tuition reimbursement. We have the mentor preceptor program, which allows them to get into the leadership role and really get familiar with working alongside the leadership team, having, we call it basically a seat at that table where they're really involved with the campus leadership at that point, just having their voice heard and, expertise is what they're looked to for hiring new employees and, sitting and interviewing with them. So that would be first leadership role that we move them into. Have all sorts of trainings available through our learning and development team that we would send them to, that really puts them on a path to get them, to that director of nursing level, or, continuing on after that.
Mhm. Awesome. So what do you look for when you are hiring a candidate?
We are looking for, and Shelby, you can chime in anytime, servant leadership is what our organization is based on. It is truly someone that has a passion to serve others. And in our case, with hoping to have that passion connected to maybe someone that has, been an elder, but really someone that's, passionate about serving our seniors in our communities, especially during this time. We've had so many individuals reach out to us that haven't had the healthcare background, and they're just wanting to get involved, to really figure out what is their role in, having a purpose to serve seniors during COVID in times like this. So it's really opened the door to a lot of individuals that, didn't have the healthcare background, but really want to come in and again, kind of, start from ground one and working their way up. So you want to add anything?
Yeah, and with that being said, we Trilogy is offering the temporary program that we're doing right now. We're finding a lot of people that were maybe furloughed or just laid off from their companies are wanting to get into healthcare, and the temporary nurse aid program allows them to, I believe it's a 6 to 8 hour course that they take through us, and it allows them to work as a CNA, so they can get that experience without the necessary classwork and things like that. So
Perfect. And then does that temporary nurse, how do you get involved with that temporary nurse aid class?
That is through the state right now, but Trilogy has a partnership that we provide the online training for them.
Okay.
So once they are hired, they go through that.
Got it.
And they can go through that, and then if they decide they do want to move forward and become a CNA, we'll put them through the class as well.
Perfect. Okay. And then what about other locations? So maybe a student is at Marion, but they want to move back to Ohio. And you talked about how you had different locations. Do people move around a lot? Like, is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of transfers in our company. Somebody goes from Northern Indiana, they want to transfer because they moved down to maybe Southern Indiana. We do transfers all the time. It's not a big deal at all.
Okay. And then what about international students? Do you work with international students?
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. And then my last question is, if somebody is interested in Trilogy and learning more, I know we have a Q&A session coming up soon, I think Friday. And so that's already been shared out to students as well. But if they're watching this later on and it's already past the Q&A session, what would be their next steps?
So trilogyjobs.com has all of our current positions available. They can, directly reach out to Shelby or myself, and we can put them in contact with, a campus that they might be interested in. But Trilogy Jobs has, all of our locations that are there, a lot of which job seekers are not familiar with, maybe Trilogy, the umbrella name, but are familiar with location titles. So our website, if they just plug in a location or campus that they're familiar with, it'll come up with open positions that way as well. So perfect. I would just recommend, checking out the website, trilogyhshealthsystems.com, health services, sorry. Also has just a great amount of information as well. So either one would be able to get them in contact with opportunities.
Perfect. Is there anything else about Trilogy that we didn't get to cover during this short amount of time with our question and answer session that you would hope that listeners should hear?
I think just, making sure that students understand that long-term care, has so many different, skill service lines, like I said, that, maybe they've never taken into consideration. And once they are able to come in, we talked about, a recruiter that is a mentor to us in the business. And she would always say, Trilogy is not your typical, grandma's nursing home. You really want to kind of open your thoughts, or, what maybe you haven't had consideration into long-term care. And just, I would highly recommend just having them come in and schedule just a tour, or like I said, a shadow, just to kind of get familiar with what the campuses look like, because they are beautiful. We take so much pride in just the establishments that they're in. It just reflects so much upon, Trilogy as a whole. So.
And I agree. I was able to take a tour years ago of the Arlington campus, and I was blown away. Like,
Exactly.
lunch as well, and I was like, I could do this. I could work here, like, or I
Exactly.
could be here later on in my life and be okay with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is, we love that, people have that experience when they come in. So, and you mentioned lunch, but that is one thing, just to mention as well, is that we have a culinary side too, and that's just a culinary experience that they have. Again, that maybe people aren't familiar with, that we have that opportunity in our campuses as well, because that's what we take pride in, just as much as the clinical options that we have for our employees. So.
Well, I appreciate your time this morning, and I look forward to continuously working with you all and Trilogy.
Wonderful.
All right, that sounds
Thank
great.
you so much.
Thank
All
you
right,
for having us.
you.